Welcome back. All Muslims observing the holy month of Ramadan are experiencing challenges very different to other years. This is the first time the month is being observed during a global pandemic, which is forcing worshippers to observe under strict lockdown regulations. Well, to find out more about how Muslims are observing Ramadan under lockdown alert level 4 in South Africa, we're joined by Mickaeel Collier, Deputy CEO of Awqaf SA. Mickaeel, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So just talk to us about, what Muslims are going through currently. Many countries have imposed strict restrictions to curb the spread of the virus, the coronavirus. Many mosques are closed, gatherings are banned. What is it like being in lockdown and fasting during this holy month?
Well, it is a Ramadan of a difference. It's difficult for us, as you mentioned, to be detached from our congregational community, prayers, etc. But I think other communities have had equally to suffer this particular pain of being detached from their communities during this lockdown period. But uppermost in the Islamic law is the preservation of life. And this has been the guiding principle that has led our leaders to call on our community continuously to observe the lockdown, to stay safe, and to preserve human lives. Yeah. This Ramadan is unique. The Prophet Muhammad, the first revelation was revealed to him in a cave while he was in isolation. He went into isolation to contemplate the inequalities that led to the moral degradation of the society that he was serving or living in. And I think similarly, many of our Muslim communities have gone into isolation under the lockdown period, and we've also contemplated what our society is. For example, yesterday there was a food distribution that took place in Spruit area near Lodium, where we were involved with a few other community organizations under the Spruit Community Support Forum. And the queues were about 3 kilometers long for people, the most vulnerable, looking to collect a food parcel. So when we see these type of scenes, we realize that our society, there's something fundamentally flawed. And South Africa has one of the highest Gini coefficient ratios in the world. That is the gap between the rich and the poor. And I think it's for us the time as a community, as a Muslim community, as a general South African community, to contemplate what is going to be our role going forward in changing the dynamics of the poverty cycle within South Africa.
It is a time when families and friends usually gather to break the fast, but in many countries this year, these traditions are being tinged with anxiety because of COVID-19. Talk to us more about your advice to those observing the holy month of Ramadan in a lockdown.
So the lockdown, I think, on the one hand, it has been difficult for us to congregate as a community, but on the other hand, it has built up our family relationships, our immediate families, our children. We've grown closer to them. We've grown more attached to learning more about our religious duties, our religion. We've performing our prayers in congregation at home, within our communities. We are empowering our children to start taking active leads in leading prayers, etc., etc. So I think with every difficulty, we have to look at the positives within it. And it has been a challenge. Usually millions of people flock to Makkah and Medina for the pilgrimage during this particular period of time. It's not there, it pains us, but we are grateful to our Creator. We are grateful to the leadership within our communities that at the end of the day, we are practicing a different form of our expression of religion. And that is to ensure that we preserve life and we stay safe.
For many, it's a time to renew their focus on spiritual life. But what about those in isolation currently? What would you say? Is there an opportunity now to turn isolation, I guess, into inner peace, for instance?
Most definitely. And I think, as I've mentioned earlier, Islam started, the first revelation of Islam, when God Almighty revealed through the angel Gabriel to the Prophet Muhammad, Ikra, meaning read, contemplate, explore, investigate knowledge. That was the first revelation that was revealed. And within that, we've got that responsibility during this holy month of Ramadan, as we're entering the most sacred period of this month, the last 10 days of Ramadan, to contemplate what our role is going to be in society, how we are going to become active participants in the process of societal change. And that is actually what our purpose is. There's another verse of the Quran that was also revealed, and it says that we will not change the condition of a people until they change it themselves. So things are not going to change unless we as a community actively partake in this process of societal change. We cannot wait for government to do it alone. We have to do it together as a collective.
Mickaeel, I just want you to stand by. We have to say goodbye to our SABC2 viewers. For those who have access to SABC News, stick around. We'll continue with our conversation with Mickaeel Collier, the Deputy CEO of the Awqaf SA.